What's going on, guys? It's Wacky here. Welcome you back for some more Draft League content. It's been a while, but I decided to come back to trying to upload some videos for my friends. I don't care if I get many views, but I kind of like going back and just kind of watching my old matches on like a YouTube format rather than like digging for the replays. I don't know, sometimes it's just very interesting to see how I fought back in the past, especially with like SDS, like season 1. Like some of my plays were like way different from what I think I would have done now. So changing as a player is always good and fun. And speaking of fun, I think we got a fun draft. This is CLDL season 2. It's commissioned by P. McGee and Dr. Geo, so shout outs to them. They let me be a part of their mod squad, so expect to see me in some of their videos later with PRs and some weekly recaps, I think. So that'll be fun to be a part of that. Hopefully my team doesn't disappoint some of the battles of the week that I might be a part of. So yep, there's that. I guess getting into the draft, I didn't really have like a huge plan going in, but I think I got 5th pick. It was either 5th or 6th. I honestly might have gotten 6th pick. Yeah, I got 6th because there was 4 mons that were like 19 points, and I was like, yeah, those are pretty much going to be gone. So I looked into the 18 points. I saw Torn T. The person below me, shoutouts to DD, he's our week 1 opponent that I'll be recording and uploading after this video as well. Wanted Mega Glade, so I was like, oh sweet. And there was nothing else on the board I really wanted, so we're back again with Torn T for like the 3rd time on YouTube. I feel like every time I record for YouTube, I always have like Torn T on my teams. Or yeah, it'd be Torn T. I was gonna say like Vaporeon too, but I don't have a Vaporeon here. So Torn T is pretty cool. It gets Taunt, Knockoff. I almost said it got Rocks. No, it gets Defog, U-Turn. As a pure flying type, it's pretty cool because if it was like normal flying, it can't switch in on like fighting moves. It's decently bulky. It usually takes like at least every hit. It's really fast, and on both sides it can attack. On the physical side, you get like bulk up, acrobatics, U-turn, knockoff, which is kind of all you need. Oh, and superpower, which can also be cool because you could run like eject pack superpower so that you can come back in later and then just start spamming acrobatics without an item. So that's nice, and then you don't lose momentum from clicking superpower because after superpower you lose attack and defense boost. So being able to get the hell out after superpower is pretty nice, and it's just in general like fighting hits more things than bugs, so you might as well run a jetpack no item. But other than that, it's like Hurricane and a Focus Miss, Air Slash, Sludge Bomb, Dark Pulse. I think it might get like Flash Cannon. I don't know. I don't think so actually. But it's pretty cool for its price. 18 points. Honestly, Torn T should have been like 19 in my opinion, but it's whatever. Our next pick is Komodo, which is a mon that I haven't used in like a little bit. I think funnily enough, Komodo was on my last team where I played on the PLA mon format. And I really loved it there. It was really bulky. It was really good at setting up. It was really good at switching in on things that other team members couldn't, like bulky electrics with like Mega Manectric, for example, is like a perfect example of what Komodo can switch in on. And has really good abilities with bulletproof. So it's pretty much like a Shadow Ball immunity. It is also immune to like Rock Blast and Sludge Bomb, and Energy Ball. So there's a lot of things that get screwed by bulletproof. Some mons only get like Sludge Bomb as coverage, like Rose Raid or something, for example. In which case it would have to run like Venoshock to hit me, because I don't think it gets Sludge Wave. So it's pretty cool in that respect. It's also a really good rocker. Has a really high defense stat, so you can expect to see like body press come out a lot. But for the most part, I think Komodo is pretty cool. It has a lot of coverage, and Clanger Soul is allowed. I don't know if there's any leagues where Clanger Souls isn't allowed, because I'm pretty sure in most leagues Komodo still only goes for like 14 or 15 points with Clanger Soul. In this league it was 16, but I honestly think that Komodo is still worth it. And if anyone watching was like in the server when we were drafting, I apparently sniped like 3 people with Komodo, so that was pretty cool. And speaking of snipes, I picked up really early round 3 Slowking because I figured it's probably not going to come back to me if I don't get it now. I could always get G-King still, and G-King actually stayed on the board the entire draft until like the end of Grace, which is really funny. I could have picked up G-King because G-King it works really well with Torn, but I figured with Komodo I really like Slowking. And there's also a Mon later down the line where I think Slowking works really well with it. It works really well as a bulky water with regen and teleport. Teleport I think is what puts it above G-King for me. I mean, for the most part, if you guys know me, like Galarian Slowking is like probably top 3 of my favorites to use, along with G-Bro. Like those things are broken as hell. I don't know I don't know why they're not more expensive than they are. Especially Glowbro. That thing should be like 13, but yeah, we picked up Slowking. It's pretty good bulky water. It's really, I wouldn't say it's impossible to kill, but it's really annoying to kill with its 95, 80, 110 bulk. Because of regen, it can run like Assault Vest, and it has a lot of coverage. Like, I think Slowking gets Power Gem. I know Galarian Slowking gets Power Gem, so I would assume normal does. I don't think normal Slowking gets like Sludge Bomb though, but you still get like Fire Blast, which is nice for like steals that will come in, like Jirachi or Corv, like stuff like that. And yeah, and because of teleport and regen, it doesn't really care about status as much either, so that's always nice to have because our clerics are like not that great. Anyways, moving on, we picked up Rotom Heat. It's a mon that I don't think I've actually used in like a normal format. I think the first time I drafted Rotom Heat was like it was like stab mons, so I got to use like Blue Flare, and that's just like not how Rotom Heat works. But I kind of liked it. It was pretty bulky. It usually comes in like a few times, takes hits, clicks Will-O-Wisp or Thunder Wave, and Volt Switch. Electric Fire is like really hard to switch in on unless you're like a dragon or maybe like a bulky Psychic. I don't even know. There's not a lot of things that like to deal with Rotom Heat is basically what I'm saying. With Overheat, Volt Switch, Nasty Plot. Unfortunately, I think it's kind of forced to run like boots most of the time, but I don't think it's a big deal. I think out of Torn T, Rotom Heat, and our other mon with Defog, I think we're standing pretty clear in case we don't want to run boots in a matchup. And offering us a Volt Switch is nice too because we don't have a lot of pivots on the team. I think Rotom Heat and Slowking are like some better pivots that work really well together, I think. Moving on, we actually have like this is probably like our biggest attacker now that I think about it. We got Mega Aggron. This thing is so fat, and with pure Steel type, because it loses the Rock type, I think it gets a lot better defensively that way, as well as Filter, meaning that it takes, I think, 75% from any super effective hit. So there's things like, I'm pretty sure like V-Create doesn't even knock this thing out. Mega Gallade Close Combat does like 70% max, which is really funny. Yeah, this thing just eats hits all day long. It could even run like Rest Talk. Fortunately, I can't run like Resto Chesto with it, but that'd be kind of insane if it could. And plus I have like some clerics that can wake it up if needed. Yeah, so let's make it Aggron. It's a really good rocker again. It's a really good mon at like body press and heavy slam. It might get Gyro Ball, I don't know. But also Roar is really nice too because I don't have any Haze users. I do have Clear Smog with Nihilego, but having more Roar is nice. And speaking of Nihilego, that's our next mon. I figured I really need to fill some like speed gaps because right now it's like Torn T all the way to like Rotom Heat. So I decided to spend the next few mons just to kind of fill in our speed gap. I picked up Nihilego. Originally I think I was gonna go Scolipede, but my team really wanted like a special breaker because right now I have Rotom Heat, Slowking, Torn T, but they're not really breakers. Rotom Heat can be a breaker, but for the most part I think Rotom is better at being bulky and pivoting in on a lot of things with its defensive typing, plus Levitate, leaving its ground type weakness. So I picked up Nihilego. It's a pretty good poison type with Stealth Rock, T-Spikes, Clear Smog. Along with some ways to set up, like with Meteor Beam, you could run Speed Boost, pretty much with the Beast Boost. So you can Meteor Beam, get the +1 special attack, and then if you kill something, you get the +1 speed. So you pretty much got like a special Dragon Dance in a way, which is cool, and then it just kind of snowballs from there. Nihilego also gets some cool things like I think Magic Room or Wonder Room. I don't remember which one is which. It might even get both, which is something I might play with because I think the idea of swapping like your defenses would be cool for like weakness policy strats if I wanted to do that. I definitely want to have fun with this team, so expect me to at least attempt to do some fun stuff with Nihilego. Unfortunately, it gets kind of hardwalled by like steel types and a lot of ground types, but we do have Rotom Heat, Slowking, Komodo, Torn T, and some mons later down the line that all kind of help Nihilego pull off some sweeps. So yeah, we'll see if that happens. Our next mon is Obstagoon. So I picked this up. I really wanted a nice breaker. I also wanted another pivot, so because it has Parting Shot, I think it's pretty nice there. It also has Defiant, which I don't think I'll ever really run Defiant, but it has viability with Defiant in the case where you don't want to defog on an Obstagoon. Pretty much, like, you're pretty much giving Obstagoon like +2 as opposed to Guts +1 Facade. I think Body Slam with like +2 Defiant might be about as strong as Guts. You could even go like Reckless with Double Edge, which is kind of pointless because I'm pretty sure Guts Facade is just stronger. But, well, maybe not stronger, but it's less risky, I think, to be spamming Double Edge. So Obstagoon does a lot of things in that manner. Dark plus Normal is a decent typing. It pretty much hardwalls most ghosts that don't get like Double Kick or Focus Blast like Gengar Spectrier. So it's pretty good in that regard, and it has a good speed tier. If it needs a Scarf, it can Scarf, because I don't really have any Scarfers on this team, which I think is one of my weaknesses, but we'll work with it. Parting Shot in general is really nice. Knockoff is good. Taunt is fun. It has a lot of coverage moves like Thunderbolt, Ice Beam, Blizzard. In case I ever need to do that kind of stuff, I'm pretty sure I get like Thunder Punch and Ice Punch anyways, but it's still pretty fun in that regard. And speaking of fun, I would say Superior is not that, but it's a really, well, I wouldn't say it's strong, but it's a pretty good grass type. It gets Defog and Contrary, so if you try setting up like Sticky Webs on me, you're giving me +1 speed. If you tried to memento me, you're giving me +2 in all my attack stats. Sub glare is really nice. Well, glare in general is really nice because you can pretty much click Thunder Wave on ground types. And it doesn't miss. Plus, Superior is really fast, so you can expect Superior to always get off something. It can hit dragons with Dragon Pulse. Leaf Storm in general is just really strong because of Contrary, it just kind of adds up with a really strong move. It even gets things like Knockoff and Taunt. Sub-Leech Seed is really nice with it because its speed tier is really nice. It's definitely a mon I think could be better because Hidden Power's gone. It kind of gets hardwalled by steals just like Nihilego does, which is why I was considering going like Shaman plus Scolipede. I don't know if that would still be better, but I think Superior and Nihilego are the more fun options. And I think Superior can do quite a few things. It gets screens as well, which is nice in case I want to set up a Komodo sweep. Like say they go like their Steel type or their Fire type on Superior. I get up like my screens, and then I can switch into Slowking and then teleport into like Komodo with Klanger's Soul or like Dragon Dance, or Tornti with like Plot, Rodent Heat with Plot, Golurk with Rock Polish. So there's a lot of things I can do with that. And speaking of Golurk, we added Golurk to the team. Originally, instead of Golurk and Aggron, I was going with Mega Steelix because at the time I didn't have a ground type or steel type, and my original plan, I could not fit Mega Aggron on my team. So I had Mega Steelix originally, which would have been okay because I won EDC Spatial with Mega Steelix, but I really want to try Mega Aggron, so I made it work. We picked up Golurk. Golurk was one of those last edition things where I was like, oh, that's actually not that bad. It's really strong. It's decently bulky, actually. Like 89, 80, 80 is at least above average bulk in my opinion. It's about as bulky as like Tornti. A little bit bulkier in some senses. It's about as almost as bulky as Slowking on like the physically defensive side. Not that I would ever run like physically defensive Golurk or especially defensive Golurk, but it's strong enough where it could like get off some hits. Iron Fist makes it really strong with like Dynamic Punch, or well, I'd be running No Guard Dynamic Punch, but you get like, I think it gets like Ice Punch or Thunder Punch or something. I don't remember. Golurk gets some pretty cool stuff. Klutz could also be pretty cool because I can actually trick like Assault Vest onto some mons, which could be nice. I guess it just depends on the matchup where I would do that, but I think it could be cool to pull that off. Other than that, it's just another, it gets rocks, I guess. But other than that, it's just kind of where's your switch in mon, which is nice to have. I like having Obstagoon along with it. Both are physical attackers, whereas my special attackers are like Nihilego and Serp. But I definitely like having a lot of variety with this team. And moving on, we picked up our fairy. Originally I had Slurpuff, but because I really want to try Aggron, I decided to give Clefairy a shot. People really like Clefairy for some reason, and I don't know why, because I don't think it's that great. But it still has Magic Guard, and with a Violite, I think it's a lot bulkier than people give it credit for. So I like that. In matchups where like people's dark types or their fighting types don't have knockoff, I think Clefairy is really solid there. I think it might be a little bit bulkier than Clefable. It's not as strong for sure, but it definitely has some some utility there. It also gets teleport, which is nice. And stealth rock again. I have 5 rockers on this team, which is kind of insane for a Wacka team. Usually I only have like 2 defoggers and like 2 rockers, if even. So having that's nice. Thunderwave is also nice. I have a lot of Thunderwave mons as well as knockoff and taunt. So I have a lot of versatility with this team. Clefairy kind of just adds on to that. I don't think it's very strong, but for a 4-point fairy, I think it's going to be decent. I kind of wish like all creamy was a little bit cheaper. I probably would have picked that up instead. But Clefairy also gets Wish, which is nice. Base 70 HP with Wish onto some of my mons, which won't be running as much HP, will be nice. Like, I'm pretty sure I'll be passing about 50% onto everything that's not Slowking or like bulky Nihilego or bulky Obstagoon. So that's pretty nice. And then last and not least, we got Noctowl. I think the reason I picked up Noctowl is just to kind of fill in that speed gap between Komodo and Golurk. I didn't really want base 80 mons to just run Adamant versus me, so I picked up Noctowl. I don't think Noctowl is useless even with Torn T on my team. It offers a different normal typing, like a bulkier normal, as opposed to Obstagoon, which is nice. It takes on things like Spectre pretty well, plus it can't fall asleep, which is nice. So it can be pretty much a free switch in to like a lot of Sleep Powder mons like Rose Raid or Tangrowth or something like that. I don't think it gets U-turn or anything, but Tinted Lens Tinted Lens Hurricane is nice. Heat Wave is also really nice for tool on it. It's not like the best thing in the world, but it was a 1-point normal type and a 1-point flying type, and I was like, might as well pick up Noctowl. Originally I had like Illumise, which I think Illumise would have been a little bit better, but I think Noctowl would be cool. I actually almost brought it to week 1, but I decided against it like last second, and it was for good reason, as you'll see week 1. But yeah, that is our draft. I don't remember my nicknames at the top of my head, so let me check the teams really quick. Okay, so you guys can, I think, see the nicknames. Yeah, we got Friday Chinatown, the Torn T. We got Don't Speak, the Komodo. We got Bad Apple, the Rotom Heat. We got King Nothing, the Slowking. Give Me Chocolate, the Aggron. Super Freak, the Nihilego. Detroit Rock City, the Obstagoon. Union of the Snake, Superior. Superstition, Golurk. Sugar, Clefairy. And Sunday Morning, the Noctowl. They're all just songs. And they all have like kind of different genres too, which is nice. I like when I'm able to come up with something new for some nicknames, as opposed to just like one band or like one genre of music or like just one theme in general. Yeah. Anyways, I will see you guys for week 1. We're up against DD, whose team is like kind of insane and scary, but we'll get through it. I think we have a really strong squad, which is nice. It's definitely one of the better teams I've drafted, actually. I'm hoping that my lack of a good Wish Passer won't screw me over. I really like having Wish Passing with like Mega Aggron, but we have like Pain Split, Rotom Heat. We have Drain Punch, Komodo, Synthesis Superior, Regen Torn, which isn't the worst thing ever. It'll definitely force me to play a little bit faster, but we'll make it through, and I will see you guys week 1.